Hey everyone, welcome to our crypto market update. It's been a wild few weeks. We obviously need to start with the obvious, which is USDC depegging due to the bankruptcy of Silicon Valley Bank. But there are also quite a few things that happened before this, and there are some major things that we expect happening in the coming weeks or two. So it's a jam-packed March with events for crypto and for the overall economy. And let's unpack everything that's happening. And also later in the video, let's look into all the scenarios, what my plan is, obviously. And also we're going to look into some charts for altcoins, some fake out breakouts, and what are my plans for altcoins is going forward. The obvious and the biggest news from Friday, I think, or Thursday, is that Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. And this is the biggest collapse since 2008. We don't know if there are any other banks that might experience something like this. And I think this is the major question here. And that is the major risk on the markets right now. Yes, crypto can fall. Yes, there's FUD surrounding if Ethereum is security, if we're gonna get any kind of regulations on the US market about crypto. However, if we get a massive crash in the economy and if the Fed continues hiking, like they last week gave the signal that they might be aiming for 50 basis points instead of 25, that spooked the market a little bit. And you can see the results in the price of the S&P. We're going to look in a bit also in about the S&P price, and obviously crypto is directly affected. And this was on top of this, this bank failure and the collapse of USDC for a day or two is on top of everything that's going on right now. So it's definitely challenging right now to have a good gauge on the markets. My rule of thumb right now is to preserve capital, to be better safe than sorry, and to remove any risks that I can personally manage. Obviously, anything can happen on the market. We can crash from here even more, like even 50%, and go down to like 10K on Bitcoin. However, I can only avoid the things that I can manage myself, and I can be prepared for all the scenarios that are expected to come. So right now, USDC is still depegged from what I've seen on the charts. I cannot find a very good chart on TradingView, obviously. So if we use the USDT pair here on BitGet, for example, on the spot, you'll see that we're still around 5% down. This has been the case for the past day or so. Yesterday was the big crash down to 87 cents for a dollar or for USDT, sorry. But we're hanging around this, and this pretty much corresponds to the percentage of funds that they have locked in the Silicon Valley Bank. That's $3.3 billion that they have there. And that's about 7-8% from what the entire market cap is. So this is around 40 billion. And the $3 billion that they have in the bank are around 7-8%. They came out with a statement. I shared it with you guys a bit earlier today, that they're ready to do whatever it takes to bring back the peg, and obviously to reimburse everyone that wants to take their money out of USDC. Monday definitely will be very interesting day. See how all of this will play out, and see if, for example, Coinbase will return to managing one-to-one on their exchange with USDC, because as you know, they stopped swaps between USD, fiat and USDC on Coinbase. This additionally obviously spooked the market. Definitely it will be very interesting to monitor this week. I think they will be fine. BlackRock is one of the major investors behind USDC. But you never know, but what last year taught me was that better be safe than sorry. So I personally held very insignificant amount of USDC, and I took the haircut here around 5%, but it's totally fine for me. It's really, it doesn't matter. I'm also reducing my USDT exposure. I'm leaving just enough to cover whatever short that I might decide to take, like a hedge in the future weeks. And everything else I'm moving into fiat. And also most of this is going back to my bank because I started adding some funds to exchanges because of the accumulation plays that I was adding to in the last few weeks. But now I'm going to transfer these back to my bank, and potentially once we get these situations overall sorting out, then I will be adding back. Or even the simplest and the easiest thing that you can do is just keep your money in the bank. Right now, we are not in all on bull market that you'll be missing a lot of opportunities. You can just transfer just enough so you do the trade on the day or on the next day if you don't have instant withdrawals and deposits. Buy whatever you want to buy, move it to a hardware wallet or whatever, and just move on and not keep any money on the exchanges because we really don't know how this will spill over. Remember, crypto is very new and we haven't really been through a true crisis, and we also haven't seen bank failures that are affecting crypto this way. So we don't know where potentially exchanges keep their funds, or if we're going to see more failures of banks. And the Fed came out and said that they're not planning to bail out any banks. Not going to look for this news article right now, but they came out and said, obviously this could change very fast, but they're not going to bail out SVB. And potentially, I think this could spill over. We could see maybe not even banks, but there are many things that could go wrong in the economy. Obviously, macroeconomists are much bigger experts than this on me, but this is the way I'm currently limiting risks. I exited my GMX and also my GNS positions right here, just because there are significant risks. The pool of liquidity on GMX specifically is around 50% in USDC. So whatever happens to USDC, it could cause a lot of problems for GMX. As of right now, it's holding up pretty well. Did I panic sell? I don't think so. I think the risks are right here and they're real. It was pretty much a break even or small profit for me on this position. We're here at support, which is major support level, and I'm happy to see this holding up. I'm not going to be in a rush to jump back into this position. I'm going to just wait and see how this whole thing will play out, and I'm willing to pay extra, to take a breakout somewhere around here, $80. Or if we crash and if we have like a proper economic collapse, I'll be more than willing to accumulate it lower if, of course, the stablecoin risk gets resolved. Pretty much similar situation with GNS, much smaller position for me, but still, I'm okay with not keeping the position. And if this goes and runs without me in the future, that's also fine. It's not the end of the world if we miss one or two altcoins. Believe me, we're gonna have a lot more opportunity in the future. So this is one of the major, obviously, news that happened. One more thing that we need to point out and happened also in the last week or so is that there was a kind of information that the New York Attorney General mentioned something about Ethereum that is a security during a KuCoin lawsuit. Could be all just rumors. It could be just people talking. There hasn't been any legislation, obviously, and I don't think we're going to get legislation about this anytime soon. The SEC has been acting strangely in the past months, but this was enough also to start a little bit of a downside rally in the beginning of the week, which of course was fueled with all the other things that are happening. But I don't think this is something to disregard. And although generally speaking, Ethereum is at a key level here, it's actually bouncing quite hard today. I didn't buy any here around this level, around 1400. It was definitely a good spot, but because of all the additional risks combined with the USDC scandal, and obviously with this risk that it might be a security, or even if it's not claimed to be a security, just the fodder surrounding this, I can be patient here with Ethereum. And there's another key thing going to happen to Ethereum. It's a Shanghai update. I don't think there's a specific date right now, but it's mid-March, somewhere around this week or next week, we're going to see this happening. And this means that a lot of Ethereum will get unlocked. Around 16 million Ethereum will be unlocked. That's around 10%, I think, from the circulating supply. So not that massive, but still enough to cause pressure if people decide to sell this Ethereum. Because I'm personally very, very bullish on Ethereum, and I'm willing to buy it even higher. I don't really care because I think this has great potential, and I do have quite a significant bag already for Ethereum. So I'm not in a rush to, accumulate here. But if there's some selling pressure surrounding Shanghai, I would prefer to wait and see what's going to happen. And as you can see here, price action has been developing very nicely. And if we see breakout around 1700, this could be definitely potentially a good trade. And from here, from the lows around 1400 to here, it's around 20%. So, it's not that significant if you didn't buy this right here. So, again, it's totally fine. If you bought Ethereum, I don't think it's a wrong move at any point in time, to be honest. That's how bullish I am on Ethereum. But just keep this in mind that this is coming. And not many people are talking about this just because of all the other things that are happening on the economic side. So that's about the news. One more major thing that we need to look into is the CPI. The CPI is coming, I think, on Tuesday, which is the 14th of March. And that will be a big event. All eyes are on the CPI right now. I think if we're slightly above the predictions or at the predictions level, definitely we might see the Fed come out and hike higher than expected. But if we're lower, we could potentially see a rally and we see the Fed in doing 25 basis point. So definitely very major thing. And also the Fed meeting is later in the month. I think it's on the 22nd. So jam-packed with volatility will be the March month. And that's why I'm not in a rush. These are binary events. It could go one way or the other. And I'm willing to accumulate. And I bought some Matic somewhere around here. I'll probably buy some more STG here on the bounce around 60 cents. I was supposed to buy here, but again, with all the FUD, I'm willing to wait a little bit more, but I'm okay accumulating. They also have a major event that's coming with the change of the token address. That's in a few days also. So I might wait for this to play out. But usually such kind of projects that I really like, I don't have problem with accumulating, because through all the years in crypto, what you will see as a common thread is that there's always something to be footed about. And the people that stay disciplined, that protect their capital, and they buy lower whenever the market drops significantly, these are usually the people that make most of the money in the cycles. So just keep this in mind. Every time, obviously, when I accumulate something, I'll let you know. One more position that I want to accumulate more is Magic. I'm also feeling quite confident about this one, and it's getting closer to a level that I want to buy it. It might not drop to 90 cents, which will be an optimal level for me to buy, just because I think the FUD will be we'll find the resolution in general about all the FUD in crypto. And usually in the past several months, the price never drops to where I want it to. So, I'm okay with having some exposure already. I'm down on average, probably like 30% already. Yeah, 33% on average. I'm down on this position. But again, it's fine. This is a long-term play. And if my thesis plays out, this will be just really peanuts. So I'm not really worried about this going even further down. Okay, so let's jump into some charts and play out the scenarios and see what's going to happen, or what could happen, and what our plans of action could be. So first, the S&P, we broke below this level, although we were having higher highs, higher lows here for quite a while, since October pretty much. Right now, we had a major breakdown on Friday because of the collapse of SVB. We had a massive area here around 4,000. So both 100 and 200-day moving averages, this level of support at this moment that got confirmed here somewhere in the beginning of March. But here, as you can see, with a couple of candles, we broke down. And also this massive, massive line that was acting as resistance. And we already tested it once here in the beginning of March to turn it into support, but now we're breaking below. So definitely a key area to be watching. If you're into stocks, obviously there are better people to talk about stocks in our community. But what I'll be watching here is potentially a retest of this level. And if we cannot reclaim it in the coming days, definitely I think there will be more downside, which could also cause crypto to go further down, or at least not to go up, because there has been some decoupling here. But I think it really depends what will happen generally with the economic stuff, and if we're going to see other bankruptcies, or there are just so many variables that I'm not trying to guess. But definitely if we hold below this level, I think that will be a major sign for more downside. Let's jump to Bitcoin. And if we look into, first let's start with the monthly chart. This red arrow here, by the way, marks the halving. It should be somewhere in May next year. As you can see, last month was quite volatile, and we closed pretty much at no change for price. Very, very dodgy candle here. After a big run up, I think that was expected. Obviously, resistance held here around 25,000. I think it was a good place for hedge. I didn't pull the trigger on this. Feeling a bit sorry about this right now. But anyway, we move on. But it could have definitely been a good position to hedge, at least partially, the portfolio. There was good risk to reward here. And I think this is just the beginning of the scenario that I think is the most probable, and I have been repeating since the beginning of the year. There will be a lot of pain, guys, and be prepared. This will be very, very volatile. Even if we test here 18K, I think we're still fine. If we start breaking below 18K, I think the major reason for this would be some kind of another massive black swan, because this already is a black swan, and we're holding up pretty nice. We're holding up around 20K, even 21K today. So, if we hold around this level, and basically Bitcoin was born to do this in times of uncertainties, in times when banks are collapsing and you don't know where to keep your money, Bitcoin is the answer, and if we have FUD with stable coins, a lot of people will choose to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin instead of moving back to cash, because even some exchanges don't offer this option to buy cash with your USDC right now. So just keep this in mind. But if we start going below 18K, I think the most significant reason for this could be some kind of a major economic recession. Otherwise, keeping above 20K, I'm turning very bullish. Even if this holds on for like a few months, which is my base case, and we chop around here for months till the end of the year, I'm fine with this. Even this will give me more bullish signs than ever, because this means that price is coiling up. We're respecting this accumulation level, and that is great, because the more accumulation we have, the more explosive the move will be to the upside. And in combination with the coming halving, this could be the beginning of a true bull market cycle. And if we jump into the weekly chart, you'll see obviously the 200 weekly moving average also played a role here. It was confluenced with this area around 25K. And we have 3 red weeks now closing in a row, and still no worries. Still I think we're holding up quite nice. We're above 20K, and that's totally fine for me. And obviously I don't see a breakout here in the foreseeable future, but if it comes, I'm ready for it. I have still plenty of cash on the sidelines. So definitely I'll be ready to accumulate more of the positions that I want to accumulate, and obviously take some trades along the way. This is obviously the daily chart. You can see that there are more than one reasons to hold around 20K. Both moving averages are crossing here. And as you can see perfectly, we just bounced off this area around 20K. So if this thing holds, and if we don't see something like this with more bad news, so if this just a muted bounce and then another leg down, if the Fed decides to do something stupid, or again, we have another crash, economic wise, I don't see any other reasons not to hold this level. It's pretty significant level. If we break, and if we see, a bad conditions on the market, I'm ready to buy more. Long term, I'm still quite bullish. I'm right now at this point, I'm not sure what will turn me bearish long term for crypto. So I'm really ready to accumulate even lower. around these levels. I'll be buying slowly if we get there. And if we get a quick washout, like COVID style, somewhere around here, that will be also fine for me, even better. It will be much easier to trade. It's very hard to trade these slow bleeds and chops. It's very easy to get chopped around and out of positions. So whatever we get, I'm ready. As I mentioned earlier today, I have plenty of cash and I'm ready to add plenty of more cash to my positions. And every month I've been adding cash to my stash. And that's pretty much the base here. I'm happy to accumulate here. I don't see a major reason right now to just break out of 25K unless we see the economic conditions, kind of settling down, and also the Fed pivoting at some point, or at least stopping the rate hikes. Base case continues to be chop around this area, and I'll keep accumulating some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and obviously the altcoins that we discussed. If we look quickly at Ethereum, this is actually ETH BTC chart. So Ethereum again bouncing off of this area. Very powerful bounce, I would say. Very good moment to buy. I'm waiting for the major fundamental events to play out and see what happens. But definitely very bullish on Ethereum. And I think this is the easiest play in crypto right now. If you believe in crypto in general, I think Ethereum will have better returns than Bitcoin long term. And it's still such a big coin, and so many things are built already on Ethereum that I hardly can see it failing, unless obviously the regulations completely change for it. But even if this happens, that will be the US, and obviously price will suffer, but long term, let's face it, US is the biggest market probably for crypto with the most liquidity, but it won't be the end of the world. There's a lot more money and place outside of the US for crypto in general, and also for Ethereum. So I think long term, definitely it will be a hurdle if this happens, but I don't think it will break the system. Okay, so let's look into some charts. Let's look first at optimism. This is still a position that I hold. I'm planning to add more of this, but I just want to see what's going to happen here. We're pretty much in the middle of nowhere. There's some support here around $1.80, but I do have buy still from the lows. I increased my average price with this buy here. Obviously, it was a fake out breakout here. Market was showing overall weakness, but this was showing strength. I was a little bit early, to be honest. I shouldn't have pulled the trigger here, but still I'm just accumulating, and it's not like I went all in on this position. So it's fine for me. I think long term this could still play out very positively, and if this thing holds here, potentially on a breakout here around $3, I'm more than willing to buy more. And actually, this is one of the things that I wanted to discuss in this call. There has been a lot of fake out breakouts, like this one. One that I took and failed as a trade was Lido or Lido or whatever, the liquid staking platform. You can see double top here. We had this first breakout. I was aiming to get into this because it was showing relative strength. I bought around $3, but right the next day, perfect fake out breakout. Like, we got a green candle close, massive candle, not that much volume, and after a day, just a day, a massive engulfing bearish candle and close below. And I closed it somewhere around here, around, I don't remember already, but right 10%. And then the double top hit, and then obviously the conditions changed on the market. But we can go through many charts. There are plenty of examples. Even LTC that has the narrative of its halving this year. And you can see here $100 significant resistance level, 1 to 3 reactions. We got a breakout, but even the same day we faked out, and then we obviously are in a downtrend right now. A lot of charts played out like this. Even QNT that I also took as a trade somewhere around here, never got the traction, never got the volume here, and just pushed to this next level around $160 and then faded away slowly. And now it's even breaking this ascending line here. Actually, this could be a good short opportunity if we get a decent retest here around $120. And you can see the confluence here. There are the moving averages, this level of resistance, and obviously this ascending line that we just mentioned. So this could be potentially a good short play in the future. What else? STG is on my main list. As I mentioned, I'll be adding probably to this position, but patiently, obviously not going to be rushing in. Galaxy is one that I might cut. I'm not sure. This is the smallest accumulation play for me right now. But you can see the chart doesn't look good. It's just lower highs, lower lows. I was a bit in a rush to buy some, but still these are very small buys. And I wanted to have some of this project. So I'm just debating this because right now I don't see a reason if this level snaps, which actually already snapped, but if this confirms as resistance here around $60, I'll probably cut this and look for a better entry or at least for signs of strength, because yeah, it doesn't look good. And they have all of this inflation this year. The token has a lot of the inflation. I have a separate review on this one if you want to dive deeper into the tokenomics and the fundamentals of this project. Definitely, I like it in the long term, but there are a few catalysts and the chart doesn't look that good. So I can be patient and I can take a haircut on the first buy here. If we retest and fail, about 20%, but this is just a very, very small position. I'm like 20 or 30% out of a full out position, which is like maximum 3% for this token from my portfolio. So very, very small allocation here at this moment. There are a few other tokens that I'm looking into, like Blur. We discussed this when it launched. They have a second season of their airdrop and they will be airdropping a lot more tokens. The fundamentals of this project are mixed bag. Very good product, very bad tokenomics. I'm waiting to see where this will play out and where we're going to see price stabilizing and forming some kind of accumulation. But long term, since this is such a good product and I believe in NFTs, I think this has potential. So just keeping it on watch. Hashflow is one that has been holding up very, very well, to be honest. And that's why I'm also excited about STG, because they're pretty much in the same bag for me. They're zero platforms, bridges, all the key points that if we see a narrative of layer 2 playing out, definitely want to be watching. It's holding up at this level around 60 cents. So one that I will be trading, not sure if I'm going to accumulate this one, but definitely a better than most chart. What else? Synapse is one that I was looking, if we get a fast washout, could potentially buy for a quick bounce play. Right now, for now, this is not playing out. So my deal here was, if we get something like a snap here of this level, let me just measure it. Snap from this level to around here is around 50% washout. So if this happens in a quick day or two, this is a significant level around 50 cents. And we could see a bounce from here, which could be a quick bounce play. So just keeping it on your radar here. To this level here will be around 80%, but probably, reasonable targets will be here around 70 cents, around 60% gains. For a quick play, not too bad in these conditions. Canto is another thing that I'm watching. If we get a full retrace here, I could be interested. This is a layer 1. I haven't done the full research yet. There are a lot of good signs on this one. I hear a lot of noise around it. And together with Sui, another layer 1, I think these could be potentially a good play. This is still a very low cap market, very low market cap. So just keep this in mind whenever you're looking into it. What else is on my list? I'm looking into some other NFT plays, but right now Lux and X2Y2 are really looking like crap. Charts look really bad. Lux is at a key level here. Maybe we get a bounce, but as you can see, there hasn't been a significant bounce here, even in the last couple of days. It's just retesting. So not sure I want to accumulate this together with the competition that they're seeing from Blur. So yeah, and I have a bunch of other tokens that I'm currently researching. This is still my main focus. I'm still in a research mode. I'm still trying to find gems in the future that could potentially bring a lot of gains. And yeah, these are pretty much all the main talking points, guys. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we can discuss this for the rest of the call. If you don't have any questions, obviously, that's also fine. A lot of things to monitor and to look for. Another thing that I'm looking is Aptos. Aptos has a big run up, and as you can see, it's been on a downtrend for a while, but that's good. You know, it has to cool off, and we're at this key level here around $10, which was previous all-time high or whatever. If this thing holds here, you know, with a moving average coming to meet this price level, I think it's also not a terrible place to buy some, maybe for accumulation, maybe for a trade. You know, if it breaks this line here around $11. Yeah, I'm not excited about a lot of tokens right now, but actually I know also from experience that this is one of the best times to start getting excited because usually prices bounce from here at some point, even with all the FUD. Cool. Hi, Zlats. I really appreciate your contribution to the crypto space. But I miss a bit of the leverage long short place on BTC 8 as alerted sometimes before you joined the academy. Would it be possible to add these as well to your crypto channel here in the academy? I'm not sure I'm getting your question. I'm sharing all the trades that I have either leveraged or not. And there's a history in the channels, so there should be there. Just look for them. And if you cannot find it, just tag me in the chats, and we can look for them together. And obviously, if you have questions for, I don't really get leverage long short plays for BTC. Oh, you mean you don't get those kind of trades? Yeah, that's because I don't really trade with leverage right now. I mean, sometimes I kind of get a hedge, but I don't think it's the right conditions for leveraging on crypto. You know, just buying a token like whatever LDO trade that I took here. For me, trading out is pretty much using leverage, even without using leverage, because the risk here is quite high. But definitely, if I do some day trades or if I use leverage on some positions for whatever reason, I'm going to alert this. But keep in mind that this is not my core style. And I don't really think the conditions are great for leverage plays right here. Let me give you just a quick example here. For Lido, let's say you take this breakout and it's a 10x leverage or 5x leverage or whatever, and it fakes out. So you need to have a quite tight stop. So even at 13% or 10% here that we got in a quick few days on the daily chart, obviously we're going to look into the hourly chart in just a bit, but 10% means you're liquidated if you use 10%, if you use 10x leverage. And you can see that we have a lot of wicks. And I don't know if you know this, but generally speaking, a lot of the exchanges play out with the order book. This is what FTX was doing, but I'm sure many other exchanges are doing it. They basically trade against their customers. And if they see that you have your stop loss somewhere around here, and this candle here is let's just go down to the hourly chart. Maybe we see better examples. But these candles that you see with big wicks are perfect examples. So probably there were a lot of stops right here at these levels, somewhere around here. And you can see this massive wick, which cleared out all the stops, and then price jumped above this and rallied for a few hours here. So this is very often happening in crypto, and these are high, and I mean high risk plays in kind of the conditions that we are. If we're in a bull trend, and if we have clear direction for the market, sure, leverage could be used to gain more exposure on the markets, but this, you know, it's really dangerous. And I don't want to put you guys in positions where you get liquidated or you lose most of the money because of trading with leverage. Okay, I understood that the banks are thinking to create their own digital cryptocurrency. Could that be a threat for BTC and as well as the government try to kill BTC? Technically, yes. If governments decide to start banning Bitcoin, this, I think, could be a big risk. But I don't think Bitcoin will be the main focus, because digital currencies, if governments come out and say, digital currencies are a thing and we're going to implement our own digital currencies. I think overall that's very bullish for crypto. And I don't think Bitcoin could die because of this, because this means that all the governments in the world need to ban Bitcoin at the same time. And we all know that even if they do so, yes, obviously the market caps will go much lower, but still people will be using Bitcoin for whatever reasons. They will always find applications for Bitcoin. But I think if we get digital currencies from the central banks, that overall will be bullish for crypto, because this means that in one way or another, they're adopting it. And Bitcoin is kind of different from everything. So I think overall, it could be a risk if we start seeing governments explicitly banning Bitcoin. But right now, there's already so much influence in the space. Like BlackRock is a big investor in crypto already. And there's so many funds and companies surrounding this that there will be a lot of pressure in Senate in the US and probably even also in the European Union. That will be hard for governments, in my opinion, to completely ban crypto. I think this will be really I would say, very low percentage scenario, and at least according to my understandings. I'm not saying that it cannot happen, but I think it's not that likely to happen. Cool. I don't see any other questions. As I mentioned here about leverage, you can take trades with leverage. I try to share, and even today we looked into several charts that I'm looking into. Even FXS, this is also affected by the whole saga with stables, but this also could be a good bounce play. But trust me, guys, these are risky plays. I mean, very high risk. Playing with leverage in these conditions is not forever. Seems like crypto is running while we are on the call. Interesting. Maybe something came out. Let's just check quickly. No news for now. Let's see. That's good. Definitely good to see markets bouncing. Bitcoin up 4%. Great to see this. Okay, guys, if you have anything else, I'll see you in chat.